Father, give me my share of the inheritance now. I want to live my own life, free from the rules of this house. Once there was a man who had 2 sons. The older son was responsible, hard-working, and loyal. The younger son, on the other hand, was restless, eager for adventure, and tired of life at home. One day, the younger son approached his father with a bold request. Father, give me my share of the inheritance now. I want to live my own life, free from the rules of this house. The father, though heartbroken, agreed. He divided his wealth, giving the younger son his portion. With his pockets full and his heart racing, the young man left home, ready to chase his dreams. At first, life was exciting. The younger son spent his money on lavish feasts, expensive clothes, and wild parties. He made many new friends and life seemed perfect. But as time went on, his fortune began to dwindle. One by one, his so-called friends disappeared. The laughter and joy of his new life faded, replaced by loneliness and regret. Soon, the young man had nothing left. No money, no friends, and nowhere to turn. To survive, he took the only job he could find, feeding pigs. Even the pigs eat better than I do. Back at my father's house, even the servants have enough food and a warm place to sleep. What have I done? How did I end up here? I'll go back to my father. I'll tell him, Father, I've sinned against heaven and against you. I'm not worthy to be called your son. Just let me work as one of your servants. The father had never stopped hoping his son would return. Every day he watched the road, longing to see that familiar figure appear.
Is it him?
It was his son, weary, dirty, and broken, but alive. Father, I've sinned against heaven and against you. I'm not worthy to be called your son. My son, you've come home. Bring the best robe, put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet. Prepare a feast. We're going to celebrate. My son was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found. But not everyone was happy. The older son, who had been working in the fields, returned to find the house in chaos. He called one of the servants over. "What's going on? Why is there a feast?" The servant replied and said, "Your brother has come home. Your father is celebrating his safe return." Anger boiled in the older son's heart. He refused to go inside. When the father came out to speak with him, the older son let his frustrations pour out. He said, "All these years I've worked hard for you. I've never disobeyed you, yet you've never even given me a young goat to celebrate with my friends. But now this son of yours who wasted your money on reckless living comes home and you throw a feast for him?" The father replied gently, "My son, you are always with me, and everything I have is yours. But today we must celebrate because your brother was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found." Jesus explained and said, "This story shows us the heart of God. No matter how far we stray, no matter how much we mess up, His love for us never fades. He is always waiting, ready to welcome us home with open arms. And for those who have stayed faithful, remember, God's love is big enough for everyone. We should rejoice when others find their way back, just as He does. So the question is, will you choose to come home? Will you? If you are inspired by this story, please comment, like, and subscribe.